your identity, give this year a theme, and then own it. This is the year for your healing. This is the year of promotion. This is the year of abundance, of execution, of discipline, of focus, of marriage restoration. Whatever you want it to be, define it. Successful people start with identity, and then outcomes, and then goal. It's hard to breathe life into a dream when you're choking on excuses, son.
All right. Good afternoon and good evening. How are all of you doing? And good afternoon to Thailand. How are you, Thailand? Thailand's also with us tonight. Also, another thing I want to let you know, folks, is that, yes, excuses. This is already January what? January 23rd. What haven't you done that you said you were going to do? Oh, next year I'm not going to do this. Come on. You stop playing with yourself. I call it that you're in bed with your own mind. Don't mind me. I'm just getting some agua. But all I want to let you know is this. You must remember for yourself, you're the one. There's nobody else out there that's going to make a difference for you other than you. It's your self-talk. Well, I'm not good enough. Well, I'm going to get burned. Well, I don't have that. Well, I don't have this. Well, guess what? We can find everybody and anybody that you say about yourself what they have and don't have. And one of the things we want to let you know is that when you work with us, we're not going to let you have those excuses. Why? Someone says, oh, can't hear me, Dre? How about now? How about now? Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me? Andre, can you hear me? Let me try the other room. Let's see. No. All right. Brian, can you hear me? I know I'm not muted. Hello, Brian. Can you hear me? Just put in the chat room. Yes, no. I am talking. Brian, can you hear me? Dre, can you hear me? Oh, you can hear me, Dre? Andre, you can hear me? Hello, Andre. One more time. All right. Let's go. Cool beans. Brian must be sleeping. All right. All right. Cool beans. All right. All right, cool. Want to let you know, hi, hello, good afternoon, good evening. All right, let's get started. Let's get moving. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Facebook. Hello, Twitter. Hello, LinkedIn. Hello, oh, what's the other one? The little pine looked like a little TV with 3 eyeballs. All right, cool. Like that. And then on top of that, let's see. What I want to let you know is that one thing I really like to really say is that before we get started, one thing I want to really understand with you folks is what is it about you that if you didn't know who you are, how would you be today if you had the ability?
Guys,
now, when I say the ability means
for you today. If
that
you've ever
you
been
had
denied
the
for a credit
ability
card,
Feliz
go
Navidad.
ahead.
How's it going, guys? Zach in here. Welcome to today's
why do you want to get good at acquisitions? You might think, oh, I'll just get really good at marketing and I won't really focus on acquisitions, or I get really good at dispo and I'll
to go
Feliz
ahead
Navidad.
and guess what?
Merry Christmas to you and your entire family, no
Never
matter
make a
where you're
mistake in
watching
your
this
life.
in the world. And if you're watching this,
Any business you touch will always go perfect.
these gurus,
Everything
man,
you always done will make it. You'll
these
always
gurus
work.
are absolutely
No matter what. No
just
matter what. No matter what you touch. No matter what you
wholesaling
do.
industry.
What would you do? And how would you be?
Feliz Navidad. Merry Christmas to you and your entire family, no matter where you're
A lot of
watching.
people really don't understand that ability
Get up.
is in all of them.
Get up.
Before we get
Goes off.
started,
It went off for me.
I
It went
really
off
want
for
to
you
go
when I did
ahead
it.
and
Of
do
course.
one
And
thing
once you do
before we
my
really get started.
my diet
There's something
soda
that
for
like
the day
truly
and
I
my
like to
bubbly,
go ahead
so
and do.
I'm pumped, man.
And one thing
I
about
have
that
too
is
much
this.
energy. That's my problem. I got to
is-
contain myself. I talk fast.
I like to go ahead and
Well,
get a
we're
little
pumped
amped up before
because
we get
pumped.
started. And I already
You're
played
pumped.
some
I'm
music
jacked
myself
up
before
because
I
I know
got
someone
started.
watching this.
So one of the things I really want to let you know is that it's really important to kind of have yourself a little amped up.
This video, and we're
Why
going
wouldn't
to
you
put
be amped
money
up?
in their bank
Why wouldn't you
account
be
instead
excited?
of
How do you go
taking
into a
it out.
meeting?
That's it.
Another meeting. Some of you are so busy in your mind
insane.
that you
So
can't
guys,
even think about what the meeting
on,
will be
man, let's
about
break it
because you
down.
can't even
Should
know
they
what the
get up?
meeting's about
They should
because
get
the
up.
fact is that
Kick it.
you're
Let's
so
do it.
busy being
Woo!
at a meeting
Come on, man.
that
Get pumped.
it's all crazy. But here we go. Yeah.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go.
Yo. This is what I'm talking about. Right here. Let's get it.
Time to wake up, bitch. Get up.
Woo. That's it. Get it, baby. Get it.
Get up. Get up.
Yes, sir. Beat.
Get up. Get up.
Like have a top. Just get pumped up. All right, cool beans. That's how it goes, folks. That's what we do, and that's how I do this even before I get on the phone. Before I get on the phone and meeting with somebody. I had a meeting with someone, I think it was 2 or 3 hours on Saturday. No, it was 3 hours, I believe. 3 hours on Saturday, but I played that music before I went on the phone call. I was already amped up for that meeting, because here's what. Whoever you deal with, and I don't care what you're doing, if you're building your business credit, one thing I say to you, if you don't have yourself juiced, and I don't mean like juiced up like, okay, if you don't have yourself amped up, excited to what you've got to do and where you're going to go, you're not going to have anything happen for you. It's going to be just ho-hum. I was excited to be with this person moment by moment. There's people, oh, they're so boring. You know who's boring? When you say they're boring, you're boring. The only way a person could be boring first is you have to be boring. If I say, oh man, he's boring. Yeah, you know who's boring? The one that's opening the mouth. You've got to remember, you cannot have someone be something they're not unless you're it that way. If someone's boring, you're boring. If someone is like, oh man, they're just weird. Well, guess who's weird? Or someone's you know what? A what? You know what I'm talking about? A donkey. I can say jackass. There you go. All right? They're being a jackass. And guess what? Who has to be the jackass first in order for them to be a jackass? You turn people into who they are. And sometimes it works against you because people aren't going to buy what you're selling. They're not going to buy your drama. They're not going to buy your stuff that you're helpless. Some of you take advantage of some people of our coaches that I've seen this past week because I was listening to some of the calls, and I actually cut the call off. They start talking, well, what? And I call them, why are you doing that? What are you doing? But the guy, no, you did this, you did that. You already covered that, and they've already done this, and they already done that. Why are you going and letting them go ahead and try to rule the boat? Can't do that. That's not what they paid for. What they paid for, and that's it. Because the minute you start breaking that rule and regulation, you lose your credibility. Because people understand. Once I'm done, all of a sudden I say, okay, great, I'll see you later. That's it. Done. You know, here's the thing. And it's not about being mean. You've got to understand. people will go ahead and look what people have done to the COVID. And you know what I'm talking about. Some people take the COVID of the rental stuff and the mortgage stuff, good and well knowing that it was going to end sooner or later. Anybody in their right mind and their left mind, because you got a right and left side, knew deep down inside someday, and it wasn't going to last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. That'd be like the rose-colored glasses that you would put on. Not mine, not rose-colored. Don't worry. I just want to let you know, if you're going to be a tiger is one that knows he's going to go into battle. He knows he's going to go into the Coliseum of life. Every day, a lot of you go into the Coliseum of life. Some of you work, do certain jobs. You deal with a lot of people. You're doing this, you're doing that, and that's the Coliseum. And you deal with people that are either going to treat you nice, don't treat you nice. That's the Coliseum of life. Now you have the opportunity, and I say the opportunity to respond how these people respond to you. Which means you might say hi, hello, and they say, what's so good about the day? Or you might say hi to someone that says, hi, what do you mean I'm hi? Or, you know what, hey, how you doing? Have a nice day? Who the blank asked you? Some people do that. So why would you go ahead and let them ruin your day when you're the one that makes the choice? See, you have more power than you think you have. When you're building your business credit, it's the same mentality. Here's one thing tonight. The presentation I'm giving tonight, I'm attempting to convey and drive a point home to you. To drive a point home to you. And one of the major points, I'm just moving my cards around, the corporate cards. One of the main points that I have to say, are you living life, or is life using you? Are you living life, or is life living you? And people really don't understand that the way I say it. Are you living life, or is life living you? Life living you means it has you by the neck. I don't care. I've been through this where you come home and everything's gone in the house except one spoon, one fork, one knife, a paper plate, a broken down refrigerator, one plastic cup, one blanket that you originally came in with, and your original pillow. I know what that feels like. I know a lot of you have other stories where I'm telling you, I've been through the experiences of what life presented. Now, it all depends how I acted and reacted. Some of you, as I learned from that, it wasn't about me, but a lot of us, we want to make it all about me. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, they don't love me. Oh, this me. Man, take all those labels off. Take the dang labels that you have on yourself, take those labels off and put a new one that says, awesome, the massive creator, and a powerhouse that builds his business and business credit. These are the labels that you want to put on. You guys wear these labels on your life and you think they're real. You believe the label, then believe in yourself. And then if someone tells you you're awesome, oh yeah, sure. Someone tells you, hey, you know what? You're handsome or you're beautiful. What do you say? Oh, well, no, thank you. You can't even handle an honest compliment. What in the world are you guys attempting to, and some of you won't even build a business and take business credit seriously enough to even build and use the money you have. Out of the 80 people that we work with, there's 22 that are in a special group, another 30 in another group, and the rest in another discussion group. The first top ones are the ones that get into the okay scenarios. Okay, great. That's the one that you really want to get into, because you have people that have. There's 3 people in that group that don't even have a high school education, but they have over $4 million in business credit. They're earning over $5 million in business doing some simple stuff that we showed them along the way, and they just took it and run with it. Now, did they make mistakes along the way? Absolutely. Absolutely. But they decided they got out of their own way. So what do I got to do? Tell me. I'm ready to play Mr. You wax on, wax off. I'm ready to do the richest man in Babylon. What do I need to do? You need to start seeding. You've got to seed, which means start building your business. Start building your business credit. Get started building whatever you need to do. Some of you already have the business credit. I mean, there's opportunities after opportunities after opportunities. One of the things is that a lot of you, when you begin building, there's a lot of things that that they don't even coach you on. And we had the person I was working with this weekend. You know, we were on the phone for a while, online doing this. When I was online doing some stuff, now this is how brilliant this young lady is. This is how brilliant she is. She's one of the few that actually have done this when I work with them. When I'm online doing stuff, I was doing an application, everything like that, doing some stuff, and she said, okay, great. While you're doing an application, I'm going to be doing this. Because she needed to go ahead and get GoDaddy, some stuff going on there. She had 4 things to do on there. So I'm going to go do that. So she went on there when I was doing my thing, and she was, okay, great. I already have one done, you know, as we've gone on. She got all 4 done in that 3-hour period of time, because there's some places I had to go in when I was going in take care of her business report. Then we went and applied for the American Express, and we did it away because so she could qualify, and we got that one went through with no problem. And that one had no business, no bank account, nothing, just a tax ID and a DUNS number. So if and there's some people really have a bad, you know what? I'm going to tell you really honestly about American Express. If you even owe them $1, you will be hung for the rest of your life. They're very, 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 very usually unforgiving. And it all depends how you act with them before. You said you'd be nice with them. All I can tell you, for some reason, American Express is really unforgiving because that keeps their losses down. Another thing I'm going to show you about American Express, why it's a great card to have, is you want to begin to understand the difference it makes. So anyways, this weekend I was working with this one lady, very brilliant gal. She used her time wisely to create things that needed to get done as well. And besides me looking up the credit reports on her, on the business, and here's another thing. Everybody says this. I don't even know why they say this. They will say, well, I don't have any credit on my thing. It can't be. Man, if you had your business around for, I don't care, long enough, I'm going to say a minimum of 2 years. Or you've done some things you say you've been, because I listen to you and I write down almost everything you say. Because another thing that's coming to find out, this person had several other businesses way back in the past. Oh, well, I didn't think it was important because I interview him. I start doing dissecting. I mean, this, that, and the other thing. This person had so many things going on for themselves that, man, when we ran the companies, she had 2 companies that were just awesome. I mean, the scores were impeccable. Business experience I'm talking about. That's one of the most important one than Dun & Brad. Dun & Brad's okay, yeah, because you're going to need that as well as you go down the road. You'll need Dun & Brad actually when you do your Dun & Brad and the SPFE. The SPFE is a good one for leases. And another thing, a lot of you that are building your businesses now again, if you don't have, like I have one client that he did, I think $300,000 they added to his business. Awesome. Now he gets the money. There's just some things because he needs the bank statements and stuff like that to kind of be in a little better shape. And other than that, that guy rock and roll. He's already almost at $700,000 now. Or he's either at it because he's the one that doesn't share very much. I said, well, wait a minute. How much do you have? Because I see his report and wait a minute. And then it tells me, oh, well, you know, I forgot to tell you I did this. I mean, which is fine. But the thing is, once I know the number, If I know your number where you're at, that's why I have all of you get the business experience where you monitor yourself once a month. If you're already at 600 and you're not doing it, you're not going to get the credit you need, because I promise you, eventually you're going to find mistakes on there. And if you don't correct it right away, you're going to wonder what's going on. And it's that simple. I'm telling you, people on the other end that you send it to, when they input it themselves on the other end, when it's the creditor's end, they make mistakes. They're human beings. It's not even computers make a mistake, because sometimes they can't distinguish between, A and B. I'm just telling you, folks, you really got to be understand. Most of you that actually, in fact, even myself, so I'm in the picture, I'm in the whole thing, because this is what I did too in the beginning. I wanted to say this as a living fact. Every and each one of you, no matter how brilliant you are, I don't care if you have an IQ of 185, you're going to drop something out. Because this is not what you do for a living. Some of you have other people building it for you, or like for me, I built some for some people as well, and sometimes they hamstring me. They tackle the quarterback because I can't order stuff that I need to order. Finally, some people finally say, you know what? Use this one credit card just for this, just for doing this stuff, and then let me know every time you order something. Like if I order credit report, boom, I let them order credit report. Just use this card only, because I have to stop. I can't do anything. And then I can't figure out, okay, this, that, and the other thing. Some stuff, a lot of clients don't order. They got these Quill and Granger and Uline and these few other places. You've got to order from these places. So one guy said, well, I haven't ordered in 3 months. What, 3 months? Why not? The score disappeared. You've got to order until you get the cards. Some of you have cards, but they don't report to Dun & Brad. You need to get both of those married together so things are in unison and in sync. Some of you aren't using your money, so the score can't rise to show you can handle the payment. There's a lot of things that a lot of you do that you hamstring your quarterback. You're tackling your own quarterback and they can't move. This is what I mean by being a lion. If you're a lion, you're on. Hey, what do you need? Because am I blocking you? No, yeah, I need this. Okay, great. You'll have this whatever X, Y, and Z date. And I have clients, that have, the credit card. I have the credit card information, but I don't use it because they never told me to. That's one thing I pride myself in. A lot of you have stories. Oh, they burnt me. They do this. They do that. Well, don't bring me the story. I don't care about your story. I am not your story, and I don't want to hear about it. What I want to hear, what are you going to do to grow? What are you going to do to grow? Or here, what ideas do you have? Share your ideas. Remember, I'm listening to you as a Fortune 100. I'm not listening to you as some guy moving oranges on the street. And there's nothing wrong with a guy moving oranges on the street, because some of those orange movers became billionaires. But they didn't complain. They're up every day at a certain time, and they're going every day at a certain time. Their attitude is great. And people that don't have a great attitude around them, they say, hey, great, you know what? I like your company, but I tell you what, can you just switch the attitude a little bit about what is shining? I know something. The world's all, you're going to have the bad, the ugly, and the good. You cannot have yourself associated with people in your originating circle. They're not putting fire logs on your fire to blow up your dream. And then your vision board. What does your vision board say? I have one on my vision board right here I'm looking at, and it says, it says, Cancun, love you, Greg. And they wrote it in the sand. In the sand. In the sunrise in the morning. And they sent it to me. Thank you for what you're doing. And I only got this one person 2 cards. I have people I get like hundreds of cards. Hundreds. 242 for one person. And that person thanked me. But a lot of time you get credit, like to say, hey, you know what, thanks for showing me. Even when you get it on your own. In fact, I have another gentleman call and say, hey, I just applied today and I got it on my own. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. No problem. I said, what else do you need? See, here's the thing. Nobody really owes you anything. Just because you think, here's what it is. When you buy a car, yes, you expect it to work a certain way. But when it doesn't, does it give you the right to be a jackass? I can say jackass because it's in the Bible. It doesn't. But I'll still perform because that's what I said I'll do. Because my word to me is more important than what you say to me. But I'm just telling you, people are different, so that's how you could be offended. The world's never going to operate the way you want it to. Sorry. Expectations you have, you best throw them out the door unless you communicate them up front and you get agreement about them. And if they say no to it, mark it off your book and forget about that so you don't get upset. Any and all upsets come from an expectation that you have in regards to a situation. That's why a lot of people don't get into building their business credit because they have expectations about it, but they don't have expectations about themselves, which means this. You expect someone to perform. And when they don't, you're all upset, get mad, have, whatever it is, mad face, da-da-da-da-da, cuss, swear, low-life varmint, you're a crook, you're this, whatever they say. But here's one thing I need to ask you. When's the last time you went to yourself and asked for a refund because how you are actually working and attempting to build your business the way it needs to be? Are you really following the guidance and the direction of your coaches? The reason why I'm talking about is we had a coaches meeting on Friday. I wasn't going to wait for Monday. And one of the things that came up is the stuff I'm talking about right now. We have to clean our pipes too. We got pipes, we got to clean them out, get all the garbage out. Nothing wrong with getting rid of the garbage. You have to. Sometimes you just need someone to go ahead and just listen and shut up and not say a word. And then you just want them to say, are you done? And then the guy says yes. Or female says yes. All right, thanks. All right, ready? Let's go. That's it. But some of you want to turn it into a drama session. Come on, guys. A lot of you rather have drama than money. And stop chasing money. That's all I've been hearing this week. Man, I'm going to go get this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go this. Man, the more you try to chase money, the less you're going to get. That's the surest way to lose and go broke. You start chasing money, money's going to turn you right into the, into the B word right away, instead of you being the master, the head, and you become the tail that's going to start wagging you around. You're going to wonder, what's going on with me, man? Well, things aren't happening right with me. Because you let money rule you. You go get money. Don't chase it. Go get it. Chasing it is a mentality. You don't have it. But when you go get it, you know you have it, and you're just grabbing it. You want to look at your life, and you can really tell what's going on with you. If you have a lot of credit in business, and you're not using it in business, guess what? It's because you have a fear. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in business, you better expect to lose money. Period. 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 And that's why you have a thing called a write-off. You have 5 years to become profitable, or guess what? Uncle Sam will not love you no more, which means they'll kick you out and you have to go start over. All I want to let you know is this. When you're building your business credit, one of the things you want to do is be aligned about it and realize the expectations you have, how things are supposed to go, is not how it is. Because the expectations you have, I promise you, is 100% never been delivered. Not only to who you work with, or who you're working for, or in an intimate relationship. Y'all have this secret code saying, well, if I don't say nothing, they won't say nothing. Then it'll be okay. No, it won't be okay. You can accomplish anything through communication, but you can't accomplish anything in communication if you're all emotional about it. Some of you go off with your emotions like some of you like little boys, and some of you like little girls. You whine like Some of you guys whine out there like little boys, sissy lalas. Well, you know, it's not right. No kidding. Who cares? Some of you already know the world doesn't care. And guess what? It's no big deal. It's how you go about it. If you're going to whine about it, it's even worse. Hey, can I work something out with me? Okay, great. Let's live by that. Okay, cool. Then shut up and move on. I'm telling you, the reason I'm saying is because there's a group of us now that we're getting into a bigger limit now. They're already at $500 million in some areas in credit. And that's going to change the way the business runs, especially the way I operate. I'll have the different levels for the people that want to come in, but I'm going to go into a whole nother level because the thing is, time's going to start rolling. These guys last year, I'm going to tell you what, there's 5 guys last year lost $100,000 and they clapped their hands all the way. Right on. Let's go. I want to lose some more. Want to know why? Because they're willing to take the risk. Because they were all divisions. When you're building your business credit, you're not building to win, you're building to grow. You're building to get riches. And then you're building riches to get wealth. A lot of you think riches and wealth are the same. No. Wealth is Bezos. Riches is, let's see, where can I go? Riches would be like having a Subway. You still have to be around. You still got to kind of look at it, and you're not free yet. Wealth means you can kind of sit in a chair and do nothing, and you still have money coming in. That's wealth. Let's you say, you know what? F it. I'm not answering the phone today for nobody. I don't want to. You don't have to, and it won't affect the money. A lot of you are like little sissy ladders trying to chase. You know, playing that little child book. I know I can. I know I can. Choo 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 train. No, I can. I know I can. Stop playing the game and just get moving. There is no tomorrow. A lot of you think there's tomorrow. Well, you think time cares about tomorrow? Are you living life, or is life living you? A lot of you are letting life live you, and you think I'm on it. I got this going. Some of you have people around you that I got to take care of this. Why do you have to take care of it? If you don't have soldiers around you that are taking care of what you need to be done, you as a general better fire all of them and rein in what you got and say, okay, this is what I need to do now. I fire myself every day. There's something that I don't get, and I look in the mirror and say, you know what? You got this, you didn't complete this day, how long you blah, 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 you're fired. So I walk outside, then I come back in, I interview myself, okay, you're hired. A lot of you think that's crazy, but you've got to fire yourself sometimes and come back in new with a new attitude, realize, you know what? Who I was then a minute ago, I don't need right now. It's not producing the results I'm looking for. When you're building your business credit, you've got to learn for yourself that in the middle of the storm, nobody's coming. Nobody's coming except you. Oh, me, myself, and I program, but not the same ones you're used to. Man, okay, I got it. The team gets this. You got to move on. But anyways, I'm just really letting you know that's why I'm so fired up tonight, because I really got it. Wow, you know, this is what a lot of students do. Well, I can't. You know what? I promise you this much. Some of you out there say, well, I can't because I don't have money. I promise you $1 to a donut. If someone put a gun to your head and said they were going to go ahead and shoot somebody in your life that you really cared about, that you were deeply involved with, or whatever it might be, you would find a way. I don't mean rob a bank. You would find a legit way to get it. All I want to let you know, you have that same mentality as a lion. The only thing now, a lot of you have wisdom that goes with it. And life is just funny. Start laughing at it. Oh, wow, look at it. The expectation wasn't met. Ha, ha, ha. Because I know now, usually the expectation wasn't met, I would go ahead and get all upset. But now I don't have to get upset because I realize the expectation is something I didn't communicate to that person. And I did the mind melt program, but I guess they didn't get it. Come on. You guys should look in the mirror and start laughing at yourself. Get the joke that you are, because you're a human being and it's all funny. And guess what? All of you are awesome once you just move out of the way and just leave yourself that you don't know yourself to be and be that person who you know to be. You don't need no one else's approval. Stop trying to get people's approval. No one's going to approve. No one's going to approve me. I approve myself, and not conceited wise. Did I do what I was going to do? Yes, no, yes, no. No, then what didn't I do? All right, great. Look in the mirror, you're fired. Next, I come in for an interview. And then I get hired because I'm a new person. It's just a game, folks. Just a game. Here's what happens. This is where all of you end up at. You're like this little robot, and you're all lined up to go ahead and say, okay, 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 this is what I'm going to do. Hopefully, maybe, someday. You become you're like the rest of the pack of 322 million people on this planet. Not any of us in our lives has ever had an original thought. Think about that for a minute. Well, yes, I have. Really? What's a reaction to? Also look at your reactions. Look what you don't react to. People say, oh, I'm embarrassed. Embarrassment is an inside job. I don't get embarrassed. The fact is, you know what? You didn't know that? Nope. And they want to make me wrong so they can feel good? They can have all of it. Well, I don't tie it to that energy. That's nuts. All these people, think about it. They have all this internal monologue that hangs them and tells them, go through the door of life, and that's what's going to happen, and that's what all you're going to be. Come on, folks. You're better than that. All right, let's move on from that. I'm going to get on out to the Better Business Bureau. Some of you think, oh, be careful. As a business, you will be asked if you're a member of the BBB. You guys, don't sign up with them. Man, they've been indicted so many times, it's pathetic. You guys got to do your homework and find out where the Better Business Bureau originated from, and go all the way back to Las Vegas, and before Las Vegas just started to be Las Vegas, and then follow it forward. You'll find out who started it and created it, and then, of course, they cleaned it up as they went on. But it still has the same foundation, because if you don't sign up, they don't report on you. I guess what they say, well, we don't have anything worth fairly to report on them. They use the word of art to lead you to believe that's a bad report, but since you didn't pay, that they can't tell. But they give you the word enough. Man, forget them, I'm telling you. And if you don't believe it, Google it. Google their indictments. Come on, I've got time to show you that. Next thing is this. What I want you to begin to understand, here's your form in the IRS.gov. And a lot of you say, well, I really can't go ahead and get a tax ID number with the tax ID. You're right, you can't. You can't by calling it in. You can't by calling it in. You cannot by calling it in. You cannot get it by calling in. You have to mail the form in, and you're going to wait about 60 days somewhere in there before you get it back. They might even be gracious and call you. That's why when we talk about building your corporate your divisions and getting your tax ID numbers, sometimes I'll tell you mail the form out. But sometimes well, why do I got to mail it out? Why do I call it? Then I say, you know what? No problem. Let's just call it in. And give them all your information. No worries. You guys, they have enough on you as it is. But you know, if you want to do that and you're lazy, then so what? I show you how to fill it out. And you put a stamp on it and send it in. If you're going to plan to have a division in, what's this, January, so February, March, April. If you're planning to have a division in April, you need to mail the form in by tomorrow. So you have it back in time. Or you can do it by phone. Or if you have enough family members, you can have each family member call, to get them under their Social Security number. Up to you how you want to do it. It's like I say, everybody want to go to heaven, but nobody want to die. Which means you don't want to go ahead and fill out the form and send it in and just be patient enough to wait. Because then you can get everything else together. So, anyways. Or, another thing a lot of people don't want to do. I've said this many times, but I don't really push it because people have a listening for what they think they hear. Even tonight, you're trying to figure out if you agree or disagree. How can you hear me if you're trying to figure out if you agree or disagree? You're not listening to me then. You're listening to the noise in your head, the monologue saying, well, what is he saying? Is it right? Do I agree? You're not even listening. Just get out of the room. You're wasting your time. I even tell students, you know what? Come back when you're ready to listen completely without trying to figure out what you're going to ask next. If you really listen to somebody, completely listen without the monologue, you will know what to say next when they're done. You will actually have more inside what they, instead of you, because you remember, two things cannot occupy the same space. And you think, well, I'm just thinking about what he's saying, if I agree or not. That's two different spaces. Come on, some of you brainiacs out there, you know what I'm talking about. All I'm saying is this, also another thing, you can force the tax ID, by the way. What? You can force the tax ID? Yeah, you can force the tax ID. But you want that secret? That's $236 million for that secret. All right, now. So this is what you guys, this is why you want to learn this form. Because you never want to bring the pain home. A lot of you, I'm going to tell you this. Every student I have had, every student, has, and myself included, I was homeless, lived in the garage with my wife and my two kids were 18 months, and the one was maybe 4 or 5 months that were just born. Oh yeah, had the car repoed on Thanksgiving Eve with the turkey in the car. We got home, the lights were on when we left. We got home, the gas and the light was off. Oh, I'm telling you, that was a time of my life. That's when my business was going bad. This is before I got into this business in '85. I'm telling you, it was and then we had to paint curbs. So I understand what it is to go ahead and hit the bottom. I'm glad I didn't have any issues like drinking and stuff. That would probably have been worse. I really have a lot of compassion for the folks that come out of that. Mine, I just hit the ground. And I had it was a great woman that stood by my side. Never once barked at me and said, "What's wrong with you?" She said, "You know what? I know you're going to turn this thing around, and I believe in you." That's all she ever said every freaking day. And then sure enough, 6 months later, you betcha, she even went out and painted curbs with me. We went out, she knocked on the doors, and I had to borrow $35 to get the utensils, a little carrying kit, and some spray paints, some cans. And I was able to pay that back the first day. So I'm just telling you, folks, there is no excuse why you need to be lazy. If you can't follow instructions, or you want to whine about the instructions, or why do I have to do it that way, don't join. That's simple. Why? This is not a babysitting organization. This is an organization to build you up, move you forward, and where do you want to go? We're here to open the doors for your dreams, because I know how important those dreams are based on what I had. She passed away. That's why I say this. So, but anyway, she passed away. But one thing I carry in my heart to this day, I still hear her telling me, "You can do it." Sometimes I run up against it. God dang, I need to go ahead and do 10 million in 2 months for this person. How am I going to do that? And they have everything already established. So, all right, then okay. I said, I know what to do. So just shut up. I tell my mind, just shut up, get going. So I'm just telling you, learn never to bring the pain home. Never, never bring the pain home. Even when you lose, you're going to win. That's the biggest thing about it. Also, another thing you want to know is borrowed money is not taxable. Don't spend money, loan money. Man, if you're not calling your coach up, hey, what real estate do you have? Do you have any personal loans? Do you have any car loans you need to make? You're not calling them and asking, this is what I have. I can have 130,000 maybe for a home, or 40 or 50, whatever it is, and I have two 10,000 things for people to borrow, and I have $180,000 for someone for 5 people to buy cars, or 4 people, whatever it is. I mean, you guys got to let them know what you have if you're up to playing a game. So these are the things that make a difference. Remember, borrowed money is not taxable. Don't spend money, loan money. Watch this. This guy right here, he also took advantage of borrowing money, paying 0 in federal income taxes, despite reporting an adjusted gross income of $544 million, as he had an outstanding loan with Bank of America worth $1.2 billion. He took advantage of borrowing money to pay 0 in federal taxes. You guys got to understand, when you borrow money, man, it's not taxable. And it will outbalance some of the taxes that you owe. You guys got, and plus another thing, it's your accountants that you're accountable for. It's not the accountants accountable to you. See, you think the accountant hires you and you pay the accountant to hire you? A lot of you are really buffoons. I'm going to call it like it is. Everything I'm telling you is all third-party verification. I have no fear with no man because I am straight up forward and involved, and I know only one person I have to impress, and that's the Almighty. You betcha. But one thing I know, the most beautiful thing is, I'm telling you for a fact, you can Google that, but you hire an accountant and you think the accountant hired you because you don't have any research about, hey, accountant, do you know about the IRS 179? What can that give me? And then listen to it. But do you guys really know? Go, I'm going to tell you this. Go Google this. Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and Google IRS 179 and find out what they tell you about that. Find out really how much you can really write off on a card for the business. I'm telling you, your accountants you hire, man, I would fire them in a lick split and ask them for my refund. But a lot of you pay them and let them hire you. Same thing with attorneys. Why are you guys afraid of attorney when you hire them? You hire them and you tell them what you want to do, and they say, show me where it says I can't do that. Show me where it says. So with the statute, show me the code. If you can't show it, then give me a letter of opinion. If I stay within that bracket, I won't get in trouble. You guys don't even know to ask your attorney for a letter of opinion. Man, what's going on? Oh, don't those other credit places teach you that? And build credit? So you guys can be just like a monster? Even women are monsters, not pretty monsters. Guys can be handsome monsters. And I don't mean being an a-hole when you're being that way, but I mean, you really in your head, you really know you're that tough. And tough doesn't mean mean. It means you're cool. You're like Cool Hand Luke. And you're calm because you know what you're about. Or you know where to get the answer. You know what? No worries. Let me get back to you, Mr. Accountant. Anyways, but here's what he did. Borrowed money proves it. Here's one thing you want to begin to learn is divisions, divisions, divisions. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Some of you can have a corporation with an LLC, and then you can have, a normal division, which you want to create, which an LLC is still a division, even though it's an LLC. But a division is a DBA of a corporation is the DBA of a corporation. A DBA of you is the DBA of you. All right, DBA of a corporation is the DBA of a corporation, but also a division can be an S corp under this, and guess who's now the managing member? The corporation is now the managing member, not the sitting duck called the human being, flesh and blood, living, breathing man. Now you put it off on the corporation. The corporation has certain paperwork that allows you to go ahead and act in behalf or act as an attorney in behalf and allows you to sign in behalf of, but it's not you signing even though you sign your name. Bada boom, bada bang. Let's go. Gotta move, gotta move. All right, next thing is this. Your line of defense. This is your line of defense. This is why those guys were so excited about losing $100,000 on each business, because the fact is, it's a line of defense. They knew how to disconnect. They knew how to isolate. They knew how to incorporate. They learned how to negotiate. And they learned how to go ahead and make an offer. They didn't accept the offer. They go in front of the judge, the BK. The judge's going to ask you, did they make you an offer? What was the offer? They say it's unreasonable. The judge says, no, what was the offer? Well, sir, it wasn't we like. If the judge says, hey, what was the offer? The offer was 2 cents on every dollar. So that's all they could afford. And based on the paperwork, it looks like it. Yes, that's it. And you said no? Cool. Plaintiff. You win. You guys got to understand, that's a real simple basic of the jargon, but I'm just telling you, you've got to understand why the SS form is so important. Debt follows tax ID, debt follows tax ID, debt follows tax ID. Just like debt follows your Social Security. And here's the beauty about that. I have something here, towards the end, just hang in there. I got something I want to show you that you guys really going to like, and it's a fact. You can check it off. Yes, sirree. Because guess why? It's real. All right, getting a little crazy now. All right. You guys gotta understand, man, this is so awesome. This is stuff that you guys have so much freedom if you only would just understand OPM. Some of you have been hit this week, hey, I'm doing my real estate now. Here's what we've been doing real estate since 1985. We've never changed our shit. We've been doing fixing credit since 1992. We've never changed our stuff. A lot of people think, well, some of you probably just got back into real estate. We've been in real estate even before some of you youngsters out there were even trying to go ahead and tell people how to build their credit, and some of you won't even show them. Here's one thing. Someone won't even, especially the ones that take their pride and say, hey, I got 10 cards at one Someone says, I got 10 cards. When I tell I got 10 cards, you're going to see 10 cards. And that's what my group's doing right now. But when they tell you, hey, I applied in one day and got 10 cards in one day, wouldn't you want to see that? And the proof behind it? And how, also, those of you sharp know how to manipulate it. You know what I'm talking about, how you can show it and manipulate it, and even you only have got one card. You know what I'm talking about. Absolutely. You know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you out there, some of you youngsters, some of you middle schoolers, even some of you OGs. See, I've been around long enough to know what's going on. In the real estate, that's what I said. Go back to my past YouTubes. 2021. I said most of it then. I already told you, the people that were wholesaling this stuff, you have all these other people out there. Some guy starts with the J, M last name. You have some other guy that starts with an L and an A. You have some other guy that there's just many guys that charging this, that, and the other thing. All the stuff they're showing you is that's been done. Flipping was done long ago, even before the United States even became the United States. Man, flipping is an old art. And someone sold the poor millennials, hey, spend $100 million and I'm going to show you what's already been going on. The only difference is that the legal language in the offers. Subject 2 has been around forever. But it was even, I learned that from Dave Delgado. Dave Delgado showed me that way back in early 80s. And before that, I wasn't involved, but I know my uncles were involved in some of this stuff. They had some other people out there that were showing them. Then you have Robert Allen. Robert Allen's been doing this for, he's, I don't know, forever. You guys understand, nothing's new. They just package it and sell it to you and you believe it. Building corporate credit I'm showing you is not new. Some of it's been stopped because some people took advantage of certain things. Yes. Do you realize at one time corporations were allowed to make their own money? That got stopped because someone messed it up. But there's another way you're able to do it, and that's through, guess what? Promissory notes, UCC forms, and how do you do that? That's another course that we show you how to go ahead and actually establish. How about if I tell you this? There's a form that you can actually have that you can go out and buy a property, a single family residence, and there's other stuff for other places, but I'm just talking about SFRs. Single family residence, when you buy the house, the day you close the escrow, there's something that you put on the document that you sign, and then when you sign it, when it gets recorded, because they're going to record it for you, the loan's paid. The loan's paid. It only costs, never mind, I forget what it costs. But the thing is that it's paid for, period, done. Now, anyways, when you're going to fix and flip a property, you want to create your divisions. A carpet division, an appliance division, a furniture division, a wood division. Why? Because you're going to use other people's money to work on the house. You're going to get the carpenters. Now, this is what most people get. You get people that come in. You're not going to have them go ahead and buy that stuff for you. They're going to pick the stuff up that you order. You're going to find out what needs to be ordered. Let them make their money on the labor, not on the cost of these goods. This is where they make most of the money. If we don't believe me, contractors out there, tell them the truth, please, would you? All right. So then you're going to go ahead and stop because you're going to have credit through the corporation already. I'm telling you, folks, it's just so awesome and unbelievable what you can really do. You can be beyond free. Here's another thing. You'll save about 70% of all this stuff. You need just 4 divisions to use the OPM, other people's money for the fixing property up. Carpet, appliance, fixtures, and wood. End of story. Escrow, blah, blah, blah. I'm not getting into all that, but that's some of the stuff you can do. One thing about this. The United States Constitution, out of the 14th Amendment, made corporations, not an LLC. LLC is a limited liability company. Made the corporations a legal person out of the 14th Amendment. You win the battle. It allows you to go ahead. Pension plans, medical and dental, life insurance, company car, business trips, company car, IRS 179. Figure what that's about. Always, you're going to need 2 cars. Buy a junker for yourself. And also, the SS4 is the opportunity to your dreams because of the Bill of Rights, because of the 14th Amendment, made the corporations a legal person, which gives you so much power. But oh, you get an accountant that tells you some nonsense. That tells you, oh, you don't want a corporation, you're going to be double taxed. Double tax my you know what. The only time you get double tax is when you pay dividends. Don't pay dividends. Corporation is going to pay tax on, guess what, payroll. You're going to pay tax on payroll. Two different separate animals. In fact, the corporation has to add to yours on certain things in the payroll. Double taxation is paying dividends, bottom line. I don't know why these accountants try to scare you, because they don't want to do the work. It's easier to do an LLC because then you can do other things in the corporation. You're going to make them work. What else do I got? What else can I do? LLC, you're limited. You have really no protection, and I tell you that. And I'm going to do it. Next Wednesday, I'm going to find that clip of that attorney, and you're going to hear where that attorney just rips through the LLCs. Because they're just like a sole proprietor. Because it's still you managing it. It's still you. An LLC manager is an LLC is you. An LLC manager, managing member, is the managing member is you. And you think, oh, I got this protection. I'm only going to go ahead and get hammered for what I put in. Okay. Pay attorney to have them lie to you. So this is why I say it's important to know how this IRS SS form works. No, it doesn't stand for the Secret Service or doesn't stand for the Gestapo of Germany. But sometimes I wonder. But anyways, here is what your freedom is. If you do not understand this, debt follows tax ID, debt follows tax ID, you are way behind the storm. All right, I know I go. They're telling me I need to get going. All right, here's the next thing. We're going to blow through this. You're going to learn from us, and actually we're going to do this with you, because when we do this, we don't want you to jack it up. But we can take one card and daisy chain it, one card into 16 cards. All right? I'll be slower on Wednesday on this. Also, I'm giving you the cards right here that some of you want to apply for in the business cards right now, and from there, if you do, we can get it going. But here's another thing. But we do charge for this, and you have to call me how we charge you, what we charge for to do this, because we don't charge you any money. Isn't that great? We don't. Nothing. Zero. Nada. Why? Because it's not worth money. It's worth something else. All right. It's not your first and it's not your last born. Okay? All right. All right. So anyways, you're going to learn the SS form, but you got to learn how to do it. See, no one's ever even told you about subdivisions. What places have told you about subdivision? Oh, but that's too much. I don't want to work on it. Keep up with it. Then get your filing. And the filing is not the piece up here. This is cheap. Like Einstein said, the only way you'll ever be a genius is if you put it down in writing. Create yourself a filing cabinet. Go buy one. Those you already have Staples credit. You have Granger credit. You have Quill credit. Order a darn filing cabinet and start creating the files for your divisions. Because you're going to end up in trouble what to pay. Then you want to blame somebody else because you're unwilling to go ahead and get yourself straightened out. You know what to do. You rather do it at the last minute when stuff hits the fan. That's too late. Then you're going to put your coach in jeopardy because I can't, or my coaches can't move forward because you tie them up. Well, hold on, I got to look for it. Just because we keep records doesn't, sometimes I just pull out a new file on you. Just enough to I know, not the whole file. Some files are, hold on, let me show you. Man, where'd it go? Oh, they cleaned my office today. Oh, here we go. They left one out. They left one out. All right. Oh, there's the other one. Some of your files are like this. And the other files are just huge. I have lots of them. I mean, they're this thick. I'm telling you guys, I probably have more on you, but you can't rely on me to have it because sometimes I don't want to pull that whole thing out. I'd rather pull out, here's what I mean by a skeleton file. This is a skeleton file. Right here is a skeleton file. That's all I get. When you call, hey, don't you have that down? No, I don't have it because I don't have your full file. It's a skeleton file, what I do for you that week, and then I put the stuff back in. You're accountable for having the information. If you don't have it, then you really don't want what you say you want. So don't bring it to the table. So, All right, here's another thing real quick. Ooh, we gotta go. We're gonna go ahead and have divisions for you. Divisions also make the things work for you. We're gonna build each division that you have up to 100,000. I say up to, which means some people are ready for bigger than that. Here's what I'm gonna do with you. If you give me some of you've given me the opportunity. You're going to be a CFO, and it's going to equal you, and I will build you to be a millionaire CFO. A millionaire on each division. So that will make you, if you had $1 million in each division, what would that make you? Okay. All right. Here's how I said I promised to show you. American Express, there's a pro and a con with this. The bad side of American Express is they don't report on your credit report anything good. When you're bad, ooh-wee. Or if they cut you off, ooh-wee. Even if you paid on time for whatever reason, they show it, closed. But this is one card you can push to $1 million, personal and corporate. This is one card you can push to $1 million personally and business-wise and corporate-wise. This is the only card that the 25 and 29% doesn't affect your credit score. You heard me. Go fact check it. Go fact check it. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Go fact check it. Go fact check it. Unlimited cards. And here's your 4 ways to make yourself money and always have wealth, not riches. Start there, real estate first. Real estate loans. A lot of you don't understand. You have some money there, a lot of you do. If you had $100,000, you could turn that into almost $400,000 by lending it on subject to properties. You buy it subject to, you make up the difference in the house, and then you split the equity with the person that found it. You rent it out, lease it out, or fix it up and flip it. End of story. Franchises. Your franchise is where you're going to make the residual income coming in. Some of you can keep it, not flip it, or whatever you want to do. So I have some people that they'll go ahead and do it. They get the money from the person. They go ahead and do the subject to. They pay what's back owed. They make sure the title's all clean and everything else, or whatever there is on the title. Then they record the warranty deed at some point in time. I'm not going to tell you when. And then whatever to say, for instance, let's say the equity as it is stands like $40,000. The guy says, look, I'll give you your $20,000 now and just be gone. End of story. Okay, take it. Profit sharing. We'll show you how to do profit sharing so you're not taxed twice. Remember I told you there's a place and time for everything in a business? See, there's a place and time for an S-Corp, but you're not going to be the S-Corp. All right, and then also you'll learn how to leverage your money and credit. Leveraging your money and credit, knowing how you get more. Let's say you get yourself up to $10 million. You're going to have to learn how to leverage that money, even though you're not using it, but it's going to look like it's being used. So all I want to say is this. Thank you for tonight. Give me 90 days, and I'll get you where you want to be in $1 million dream. All right? Remember that. All I want to let you know is this. Some of you are moving really good. Some of you are doing great. But remember, you're still accountable for your thoughts, the way you act, and what you do. You want to move faster? Go talk to yourself and slap yourself around a little bit. And just remember, you're the one that makes the difference. Nobody else does. You're the one. You're the one. You're the one. And because of you're the one, you also are the one that makes the difference in also what you do and what you say. You got to remember, you want your coaches to go and perform and do the best, then you've got to tell them, this is what I have. What do you think? I want to go ahead and do there. Well, let me go look and go find out. One of the things you want to begin to understand is that you've got to communicate your expectations. And then let them tell you. They're going to tell you, yeah,
Are you ready?
I can't do it.
Gentlemen, it ain't about being beast mode. It's about life and death mode.
We'll see you later.
It's about putting it on the line. It's about pushing yourself and giving it 110% of everything you got. There is nothing that you can do once you're here except finish what you start. When the weakness starts to talk to you and whisper sweet nothings in your ear, you got to recognize that conversation doesn't help you. That conversation that you're having with weakness is not gonna build you. It's not gonna push you. It's not gonna lift you. You got to recognize that there's work that must be done. You got to be responsible. You got to be capable. You got to be willing to work for what you want. I know sometimes people like to talk. I know some people like to pretend to be something they're not. I know sometimes people say they're lying, but you can't be a lion if you don't understand the rules of the jungle. So ladies and gentlemen, you got to recognize what it means to sacrifice, what it means to be powerful, what it means to be strong. This is your moment to shine. And if you're not willing to shine, then step aside. If you're not willing to work, then this is not the place for you. You got to toughen up. You got to look up. You got to build up. If you want it, this is the time to go get it. But you gotta work for it. You got to believe in it. You got to trust in it. You got to let the power flow through the veins. The blood is real. The blood will push you. The pump that you're getting in this place right now is gonna take you up and over the top. But if you're not hungry, if you're not willing to get it, then you're gonna starve. You're gonna starve because you're not hungry. You're gonna starve because you're not willing. You're gonna starve because you don't want it. Only the hungry knows how to eat. Only the hungry knows how to fight. You don't have time to step back. You got to go forward. You got to push harder. You got to dig a little bit deeper. Some people, all they do is talk. When you're in this place of business, there is no talking. The only conversation is moving what's in front of you. The only conversation is pushing when you feel you can't push. The only conversation is you against you.
Turn the lights on when I'm talking to you, because I said they didn't realize that every setback of your life, they didn't realize that every bad day of your life, they didn't realize that every sad day of your life, they didn't realize that every so-called failure, disaster, missed opportunity, a tragedy was just a building block of strategy, and the agony, the pain, the heartache, the misery was put in place to give you the strength to rewrite history. Therefore, it should be no mystery when you make a special delivery to the doorsteps of victory. And you will, because you have been patiently waiting for this moment, cultivating and calculating, using the pain of your life to derive the energy from what was once a deprived and wasted synergy, because your own worst enemy has always been you, but no longer. The days that used to be sad and blue are now giving way to the days of the new you that has grown and grew to new heights and clear skies that are sunny and blue. You made the choice to clear your old canvas, and with a fresh set of mental paintbrushes, you drew your desired outcome and took the necessary steps to make sure it came true. For so long, you've known you had an inner beast inside, but you were scared to bother it. For so long, you've known you had an inner beast inside, but you were scared to bother it. That's just like planting a seed and then never watering it. Never making sure it's provided with exposure to sunlight, basically just squandering it. But that version of you no longer exists. Because from the depths of your inner soul comes your inner beast, and you are now honoring it. That seed that was planted in your soul has been patiently waiting. That seed that was planted in your heart has been laying low for the perfect time. That seed that was planted in your spirit has been storing energy. That seed that was planted in your mental has been digesting and processing. And when all of these forces came together, they created the perfect storm that set the stage for your inner beast to be born. That set the stage for your inner beast to take form. That set the stage for your inner beast to transform. That set the stage for your inner beast to break through and swarm like a large group of bees. And now you're ready to sting anyone that stands between you and the stamp of greatness needed to make your successful transformation official. So if you have any doubts, let them fizzle. Because now you're locked in on your target like a missile. Wait a minute. Make that a heat-seeking missile. Because you're so hot that you sizzle. And your vision is so clear that it's crystal. You now realize that any limitations you ever placed on yourself were always, always, always mental. See, so many of us experience an extended pregnancy as it relates to giving birth to our dreams, our gifts, our true self-worth, and ultimately our legacy. But our inner beast is way overdue to be unleashed to the world. And thus, it went from a gentle rub to a light tap, to a subtle kick, to a strong push, to a stronger kick, and even a stronger push. See that desire that's telling you to get up and go do? That's your inner beast. The passion to keep pushing through, that's your inner beast. That voice in your head that's telling you to believe, that's your inner beast. That yearning you have deep inside to achieve, that's your inner beast. The mental toughness to fall down 9 times and get back up 10, that's your inner beast. The resiliency to fight to the end, that's your inner beast. The heart you display to persevere through the dark days, that's your inner beast. The fear you overcame to lead and trailblaze, that's your inner beast. Listen to me. Your inner beast
Seek
is
to be
waiting
discovered.
patiently.
Others grind until they discover themselves. Who do you want to be? If you don't make that decision, the world will make that decision for you. This year, no more excuses. Setting New Year's resolutions without discipline will only prolong your enslavement to mediocrity. Anybody, listen to me, anybody out there can be successful. Makes you unstoppable, that you are not scared to get in the ring to fight for what you want in life. The flesh of the warrior is mortal and vulnerable with weaknesses, but the mind and spirit inside the champion is a savage force of undeniable will that's fierce and violent to anything that threatens its ambition. Scarred and wounded, the warrior not deterred, he remains steadfast and unwavering faith to the God that lives within him. Alone he fights, blinded by darkness, but still he moves forward, outflanking ever